and show you, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see that I set up for next year for my analog planning to use the Hobonichi Techo Cousin. This is the A5 size. So I wanted to show you the layouts, how I plan to use it, and answer some questions for size comparison. Okay, so really quickly, I just want to give you an overview of the Hobonichi Cousin Techo in the A5 size, what the book itself looks like, and what the layouts contained within it look like, just so you can get a general idea of that to start. So this is, like I said, the Cousin. This is the A5 size. The book opens to a 2017 yearly layout here on one page, and then the second page is 2016 and 2018 for reference. And then next, and you'll see I've started to complete some of this, so next it opens to a high level 6 months on 2 page. So the way that this layout runs is it's got this box up here with spots. It's got like 3 small check boxes, and you can use this maybe for goal setting or monthly focus, main monthly tasks, things like that. You can easily break this down from these 3 boxes into multiple tasks. So then it has the dates running down, and I just use this as my, like I said, high-level overview. Things like school holidays, birthdays, things like that, just date-oriented. So that's 6 months on 2 pages, and next consecutive 6 months on the following pages. And then we go into the month on 2 page layout. So this looks like a pretty traditional month on 2 page. It has this planning column down the side that can be used for anything. It definitely has a nice size margin down here for notes or tasks or, you know, goals, things like that. So you go, and it's got 12 months of the month on 2 page. And then it breaks down into your week on 2 page. So this would be the first week in January, and it has the calendar here. And then it's got circled lightly here the current week that you're on, so you could easily reference those dates. It has this column down the side where you can put weekly tasks, habit trackers, things like that. And then it has your day spread here in vertical. And then it does also have the hour breakdown, so it's kind of small. And this grid paper is just gorgeous. So this is the Japanese version of the Techo. So it does have the Japanese writing, which, you know, it's fine. I don't have a problem with that. It also has some quotes, and I'll show you later on in Japanese. And it's in very, very light gray. So it kind of just is very neutral, blends right in. It's easy to go right over and act like it's not there if you want to, which I can show you a little bit of that going forward. So there's your week on 2 page. And then, so it has the full year's worth of week on 2 page. I think it's actually a little bit over a year. And then it has this, which would be your dailies. So here you see it's got in Japanese these quotes, and it has another calendar here. So again, every month has a little bit of different coloring scheme. So like this is March, this is April, has a little bit of red, and then May is this green. But they're very, very neutral. They blend right in. They all have this small grid, which I'll show you in how I'm using it. I love the grid. It makes everything seem so much neater. It's so much easier to use as a guideline, and yet still blends very nicely into the background. So it's not like you're staring at these harsh lines. So again, it has the, this is the daily page, and at the beginning of every month, it also has this page where you can do maybe monthly focuses or some checklists or anything like that, and then it goes into the day per page here. So I'm going to show you how I'm using this and how it's working for me, and then I'm also going to show you some size comparisons, because I've had some people say, you know, I love the idea of all the layouts in one book, but is it big? So I'm going to show you, compared to some pretty common planners, what the sizing looks like. So let's just jump over, and I'm going to show you, this is next year's. I did buy the last like 6 months of this year so that I could test it out and see how it works for me, and I'm really loving it, so I wanted to just kind of get on here and show you. So I have the book, and this is the Louis Vuitton, the Couv Carnet GM size notebook cover, and I put these little tabs on here, and these are the monthly tabs, and I have these stuck to the daily pages. That's why they're kind of in the middle. And then to mark the weekly and monthly views, I used these tabs that say weekly and monthly. And then I just have my places marked, and I know it's really hard to see, but I have them marked with these book darts, which are really nice and thin, and they don't bulk up. It's not like a paper clip, but they make it easy for me to reference and kind of go forward. So if you're interested, these tabs, they come like this. This is a different color. On one side, they have the corresponding month and the number for the month. So because in the book they use the numbers on the side, I did it that way. So these I'm going to use in next year's, but this is how they come. They've got their leather. They're really cute. These were from mochithings.com, so I will link those down below. So if you're interested in them, you can check those out. So yeah, let's get into it. Let me show you how I've been using it and why I'm loving it. So let's start here with the yearly. Now, I just started using it a couple weeks ago, so it's pretty empty, but I just wanted to test out the layout. Like, I got this new planner sitting on my desk, and I'm sure you all can understand that feeling of wanting to dive right in and kind of like play around with it. So I put in some overviews of what the year was like for reference. So this is the year on 2 page. So that's kind of like high level. And then here is the month on 2 page. So that's November. Here's December, October, sorry. So, so then this is like kind of the next level down. This is where I'm keeping track of like daily appointments or travel schedules, things like that. Things that I, PTO, holidays, things like that. So that would be my month on 2 page. And I usually don't use this, like I'll reference the Erin Condren. I didn't really use this, but having it kind of in here is nice. I also feel like this year on 2 page, I can really see myself using that. Like, perfect example is when we go to see grandparents or stuff who always are like, when are the kids' breaks? Because, I can have that right here, easy to look at, glance at. Sorry. So yeah, so this is the month on 2 page layout. And then let's just skip ahead. And this is the week on 2 page, how I've been using it. So I use this pretty much like I was in my Erin Condren, because I do feel like that vertical layout was really working for me. So I have a habit tracker down the side. I have some quotes kind of in there, and then just my daily planning. And then I have been using for October the dailies for kind of journaling and catch-all and ideas, things like that. So like I said, and honestly, having this right here in my daily planner, as I'm sitting planning or thinking of things, being able to jot like a little idea or something like that going forward, has made it really easy for me to actually keep up with journaling, which is important to me. And I've been able to stick with it since I started using this. And I will show you, I also kind of like bullet journaling. I went to the back here and I started doing cataloging and collections. So ideas for journaling prompts. I was going to put some doodling prompts here, quotes, things like that. It has these note pages in the back, so I started using those starting from the back going forward. So yeah, so that's what the layouts look like. That's how I'm using it, and I kind of want to show you. I mentioned that I felt like the Erin Condren layout was really working for me, and I did feel like the vertical layout was working for me, but I've never really been a spiral bound planner person, and I felt like the spiral got in my way sometimes. So what I like about this is the way it's bound. It lays flat. There's no spiral. There's nothing to get in the way. It's just kind of a smooth writing field, if you will, across the whole page. So, and then I wanted to show you a size comparison. So this is A5, and when you compare it to the size of the Erin Condren here, with this taking into account the spiral. So this Erin Condren doesn't have a lot planned in it. You can see it's not very thick. It's not really bulked up with stickers and stuff, but the Techo is really about 1 inch thick in the book cover. So it's not super thick, but I definitely have over 1 inch of extra space here that makes the portability of this just so much better for me. And when I was mentioning about the weekend 2-page layouts, so when you see that size difference, you think, well, how much space am I going to lose in the Techo? And I'm going to show you here. It's really not much space at all. Believe it or not, like here it is, side-by-side comparison, and we're just use my fingers for measuring. So the width of this column here is, for me, about just under 3 fingers wide. So the width on this column is exactly the same. And the same goes for here, these daily columns, right? So they're a little bit, maybe 2.5 fingers, and it's pretty much the same size. So I'm not losing that writing space, and I still have basically what you would consider a combination of the Erin Condren hourly, because I do have these hourly sections broken out here. So if I wanted to use this hourly, I very easily could. Now the space is maybe a little bit small, but you'll notice in any hourly planner, the space is pretty small, and it runs from 6 a.m. in 24-hour time format. So the layout there for the weekend 2-page layout is, I would say, very comparable to the Erin Condren weekend 2-page. And yet the book itself is a good bit smaller. So now I'm going to show you compared to my traveler's notebook. So this is a trifold traveler's notebook that holds regular size Midori traveler's book inserts. But this is what it ends up looking like. And let's be honest, any of us who've used traveler's notebooks, they end up getting kind of fat. They look like this. So when you think about carrying this, and this thing is pretty, now that I'm holding it in my hand, this thing is pretty heavy. Just for comparison, this book, this whole A5 book with all of those layouts in it is, I would say, a little bit larger. Thickness wise, it's as thick. It's not as thick, honestly. It's not as thick. But if I'm gonna carry this in my bag, it's certainly just as easy for me to carry this. And this weighs less, And I know this isn't bulked up like this, but still, I think overall. And then, like I said, this is the Cousin, so this is their A5 size, which is traditional A5 size paper. But when you look at an A5 ring-bound planner, again, just the weight of this. And now this is a planner I haven't used in a bit, and so it's definitely hefty. You know, it has that nice leather cover, so of course. But here, just compared to the binder itself, I'm gonna see if I can zoom out and give you guys better perspective. I can't really. Sorry. Let's do it this way. Okay. So this is the size difference. This is an almost empty binder too, guys. So I want you to see. Oh, I keep bumping my camera. I'm really sorry. This is almost empty. Now, it looks like it's got tons of inserts, but it's just like monthly dividers and just a few inserts in there. And look at the difference. So size-wise, when people say to me, oh, I'm interested in the Hobonichi, but is that A5 size too large to carry around? You know, if you're going to carry around an A5 planner, smaller than that. Traveler's notebook, yes, it size-wise may be a little bit bigger, but it's not such a difference that you're going to be like, wow, I really miss that space. If you use an Erin Condren, look, you are going to save some space. You lose that whole coil space there. But you don't really use the writing space you don't really lose that writing space like I showed. So yeah, that's how I'm using it right now, and that's how I plan to use this one going forward. And I think that I'm getting there, you guys. You know, maybe planner piece is not a myth. Maybe it's really possible. So if you have any questions, if you'd like to see more, I do plan to do after 30 days kind of a flip through so that you can see how it's going and what it looks like and how I'm using it. So in about 2 more weeks, I'll do a 30-day flip through of my, probably include my weekend 2 pages and all my journaling pages. But if you have questions or something else you'd like to see, just leave me a comment down below, and I will link to this cover, the Hobonichi, and I'll try to answer any other questions you guys have. I hope this was helpful. I know there was no videos for me to see the layouts inside of the Techo, and I really was impressed with that weekend 2-page layout, and I kind of wanted to show it to those of us who maybe were coming from an Erin Condren or something else that we like that layout. So I hope this was helpful. Like I said, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and in 2 weeks come back and hopefully I'll have a 30-day flip through. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.